Hello everyone, my name is Mohammed Aleem. I'm going to talk about predictive healthcare analytics using machine learning. This is my master's project and this is related to my project reflection individual. During our project, our team was myself, Salma, Rafael, and Prasad. For the namesake, we had a team leader for the group, that's Salma, but probably we worked everyone equal. There was nothing important like team leader and all. Everyone was equal in this group. The overview of the project, which means it's a project outline. We started from user stories and then roadmap presentation based on roadmap and user stories, and then project demonstration. And we did 3 sprints, like once and yeah, for 4 weeks we had one sprint submissions, and then we made poster, brochure, and promo video for a project. And the final was the write-up report and Mahara portfolio page individual based on our write-up report work what we did. Moving on to the next slide, it's about four main problems of the project. These were the four problems we had in a project where we were supposed to explain. Based on these questions, problems, we found out the user stories. Based on the user stories, we did the user story board and then roadmap and then everything what we discussed in the slide 2. Everything, slide 3, everything was done based on these four problems we had. And then what we learned, like justification of contributions as per skill sets and time allocated to projects. The usual time was allocated for this project was about 3 months, the entire semester. We had certain terms of what we are supposed to do, from where we have to work and all. As a result of data cleansing, transformation, and modeling, important information can be obtained for business decision making. My project on this report was for the part 5 and 6, which was about data collection based on our questionnaires and all. The goal of data analysis is to extract meaningful information from the data and then make a decision based on that knowledge. It is only through using a suitable application or tool that we utilize to analyze the data to discover a pattern for the data analysis process which is carried out during this entire project. And we also made some decisions to make some conclusions based on the facts and information to begin, as we asked ourselves why do we want to perform this data analysis in the first place. This is the continuation, as we have to figure out why we are performing the data analysis in the first place, what type of data analysis we have to use to achieve. And here we decided on analysis and measurement methods with the help of the investigation of being conducted and measures used to complete the analysis. After gathering all the information with the help of the survey, where we created 20 questions, and we understood that what measures we are going to take and what measures we are going to have like results. And the next one was collecting the data with the help of project specifications for problems we had in the previous slides. With that in mind, once we gathered the information, we have to organize and pick the data from various resources, which keeps the journal that I details the data was collected and source. These are the survey questions which I was talking about in the previous slides. Based on this survey questions, we got the data and we analyzed the data, how we got the data, we everything, like how many users answered the data, the survey questions, like what each and every user has their different opinions. So based on their opinions, we made this whole collection of data. This is the survey dashboard and survey questions. Like every user did a like I said, every user has different ideas, like what they're going to do. So based on the survey questions, we got this result outcome. Like there was around 103 total users who answered this survey questions. Each and every question was had different answers like with agree, disagree, neutral, strongly agree, strongly disagree, different types of questions. Yeah. Moving on to the next slide is about description of largest three contributions we made in this project. As my part of in this project was about collecting the data based on the users to based on the survey questions. We got the survey questions based on the problems, and based on the problems we did user stories, roadmap, Gantt chart diagrams, everything. So how we got this targeted users? We had to come up with the Google Sheets for data collection using Google Forms. I used Google Forms was an easy, as it was easy and quick way to construct surveys quickly. I was able to create the following link to create our information. To fill the form, basically to fill the form, the users will have to click on that link which was shown in this slide, and they have to click on the link which redirects them to the Google form with the questions to be answered. All the questions were to be answered honestly and to be submitted by clicking on the submit button. It was my duty to ensure that there was no privacy issues for the users to answer this questionnaires. With the help of the result of collecting for data protection requirements to maintain the confidentiality, all user data was anonymized. With the help of cooperation and examination of our team, I encrypted all the data collected and saved it in a zip file archives that could only be opened with a correct password to ensure no personal information or sensitive data in any storage. Moving on to the next slide, it is the continuation of the previous slide. Is about the after we had the collected after we collected our data, I had to analyze it to get the insights. Therefore, I employed the predictive analysis techniques. Predictive analytics is a type of advanced data analysis that uses historical data to predict future outcomes. With the help of data mining and machine learning tools and techniques are used in conjunction and statistical modeling to produce accurate and valuable insights from primary data. First, I use data cleaning strategies to make our data better. If the term we are using is incorrect, the projections will be much worse. The proper data uses must be entered in the required format by patients, doctors, and other staff. With the help of cleaning and formatting, the data takes less time. Moving on to the next slide, it's about lastly, I needed to visualize the result using different graphs and pie charts. To put it another way, the data visualization can be described as the visual depiction of information and data. The data visualization which processes the visual components like charts, graphs, and maps to make trends, outliers, and patterns in data easier to view and interpret. The data visualization which we use to describe the highlight crucial relationship in plots and charts that are more beneficial to my team and me. The pie charts depicted percentages at a specific time, and they were used to show the percentage of the whole team. Moving on to the next slide, it's an evidence of work. Like each week, we had some certain task where we have to maintain an Excel file and a folder. We have to write certain articles every week based on a topic about the patient-centric system, and we had a folder complete in detail, like the top slide on the right and the top screenshot on the top right. That's a folder of 4 team members, and then the left side of the screenshot is my folder. You can see the name Aleem on the top, and then the Excel file which we maintain. We were supposed to record weekly activities, what we are doing every week. Moving on to the next slide. It's the unique things that we learned and contributed in this project. It is the goal of data analysis to draw meaningful conclusions from unstructured data. Many data analytics approaches and processes have been automated into mechanical process and algorithms that work on raw data for human use. The analytics is fundamentally about finding solutions to issues. The ability to make judgments is one of the most desired requirements. Often, a lack of decision-making authority renders a position unsatisfying, as if it were merely another clog in the giant corporate wheel. Moving on to the next slide of the learned things is, however, as a data analytics professional, we are at the heart of a company's decision-making process because we examine patterns and provide relevant insights on the future scope of improvement. You, you or we will be able to vital components of corporate decisions and future strategies, providing you an important job and purpose inside the corporation. Moving on to the next slide, it is also the continuation of a previous topic. As a result, I have gained problem solving skills, analytics it is its a core and problem solving too. The issues were considerably more widespread than most of us are used to seeing. They affect the entire companies, so well as the people who work there and clients they represent. Analytical thinking and the capacity to approach problems appropriately are valuable skills that can be applied in both the professional and personal worlds. Moving on to the next slide is about ideas to improve the course, what you liked and most the least. When doing the data analysis, it's encouraging for the user to go deeper to find out what caused the trend into the first place. The user should inquire as to reason for the occurrence. If we develop a deeper into the weeds and examine the relevant data, we are able to determine precisely which distinctive about this situation. It's critical to draw on domain expertise during this phase. Moving on to the next slide of the ideas to improve is remembering those analytics are only as good as the data they are fed, and if that data is not current, the findings will be inaccurate. Be aware, don't let your guard down. To be successful, the user must quickly adapt their analytic parameters to meet the organization's demands. This means that the data must be regularly updated with the most recent information, both internal and external. The data originates from a diverse range of sources. It is not easy to put everything together. Massive amounts of data need to be nominated and analyzed. A restricted view creates a silo effect when you decide ahead of time what is most important. Analyzing the data with summary statistics, we reveal mistakes that need to be fixed. Error correction aids in enhancing the accuracy, completeness, and coherence of your information. The final line of defense is improving data quality is to make sure that people and resources are dedicated. These are the diagrams which we drawn in our project. Like we started from axis diagram on the top, and then we had the fishbone diagram, and then user case diagram, and then we had Wi-Fi diagram, and then we did swim lane diagram. These all diagrams we did during our process, and every sprint has different diagrams like this. Moving on to the next slide is all about references. These are the references which I personally felt are the most important from my analysis. Like there was more references slides, but I can't put on all the references. I kept some, and the more references can be found in my folder, which we could access from our supervisor. Overall, doing this project was very awesome. I learned many things in this. there was some like teamwork, and also we had a teamwork, everything in detail. Everyone was good and helpful, and we got a lot to learn from our supervisor, client, and our lecturer, Bilal sir, who helped us completing this project very in a good manner, and he was very helpful. We got everything in detail. And that's the end of this presentation. Thank you so much for your time. Hope you're having a good day. Thank you. Stay safe.